At this moment in time, we just going live. We calling it a day. I'm not checking anything. I just gotta press the button. I'm having the most hilarious morning. Let me let Paul in the door. Hopefully he found the right meeting this time. Bingo bango, send that. And then hopefully I see Paul is already in the chat, so he's still alive. Piano man. Sing that song, you piano man. Sing that song tonight. Oh, there we go. And the other Paul. La da 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 di da 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 da. All right. Okay. It wasn't too bad. Oh my God, Baba's cracking me up this morning. It's super super funny. It's the most hilarious thing in the world. Okay, guys, while we waiting for everybody to come in and ask their questions. Let's do something weird today. Let's trigger the fire. Um, we don't got the fire. Dancing. Okay, there it goes. Sorry. I was like, yo, there's a fire song just jumped in my head and I don't have the whole song. I only had a piece of it. I had to get it going. Cat, don't add that one to the Spotify list. That one was an accident. Yo, okay. Let me do this so I can see. Paul Sr. is wearing a woolly jumper. Means it's freezing in the UK. What is up, Andy? Like he got on a thick woolly jumper, like proper sheep wool joint. It must be cold as crap. What's the temperature, Paul? How many degrees? Are we looking at like?
It's freezing at night.
Yeah, we're looking at like 10 degrees Celsius. Colder than that?
Oh, no, colder. 0.
Oh, 0 Celsius. Oh, hell no. Absolutely not.
You might get 10 in the day if you're lucky.
Oh my God. Actually, Andy's probably freezing too because Andy is in the Midwest. He's in proper Indiana, Notre Dame territory. So,
All you cold people, keep all that to yourself.
yo,
Stay away from the West Coast.
listen,
Even our cold wouldn't want to come over for you, Donald.
dude. There we go. Let me fix this. Yeah, it is proper freezing. Paul, I'm just adding you so that the Zoom thing works. You know what I mean?
Congrats to Paul this week.
100%, right? Paul got his little piano game going on. Dude, your screen just jumped. I don't know if you saw that. It just messed up my whole eyeball. You pressed let in Gretchen and it pushed your screen to the other side like Gretchen kicked in the door. Move, Paul, pap.
That's the impact that Gretchen has.
Right.
I sent you a long email today as well.
A different one from yesterday?
I can't remember. My week's been a bit turmoil. I think it's 100%. The one I sent today.
Okay, so
today or yesterday. No, whatever. You got a long email about the comment downloader.
Yeah. So I think we'll definitely talk about that in class because I think there's something there we can work with.
Oh, it's the back end is really interesting.
All right, that's what Luis and I say when we be walking around the store. Damn, that back end is interesting. Look at the nagas on that one. Sorry.
You're gonna have to stop walking in front of the two of you.
So early. I just got back from my walk and I'm already inundated with this.
Sorry, Gretchen. You can't kick it with the boys today.
I can. I can't.
Oh my God. All right, let's do this. We are working. We are cooking with Pam today. I don't even know who Pam is, but whoever she is. Oh, something I always forget about the counter in Ecamm is that you can only start it at 59. You know what I mean? Like you can't start it at 60000. You can start it at 5959. Oh wait, I just thought of something. I know how to do it, but then it's going to look ugly.
You can put a 1 in for the minutes.
Yes, I'm saying I just thought about that. But if you do that, right, it does exactly what Paul said. it'll work. But
Well, actually, that you're a second off, so
yeah,
you're going to be behind.
so that's more accurate. So if you press pause and reset, that works. But I wanted to know about the auto sizing, right? Like when you press go, it does automatically shrink. Look at that. He almost eyeballed the exact size. It does shrink. And then one thing is this particular font that I'm using is not monospaced, so that causes the little dancey. So you always got to remember to go in and change it to a monospace situation. And
AKA fixed space.
yeah, well, correct. But the way you would normally call that out is you would say that it has singular M space. So when you're talking about letters and things and such, the M space is the space of the width of the letter M. And in a monospace font, every letter is the same size as M. Because in a non-monospace font, M, W, much wider than I, right? And so what that causes is when you have a display like a clock, the old red, joints that we had, or the flip downs, you want to use a monospace font. Otherwise, the size constantly changes while you're doing stuff, and then that would just look odd. So that's what a monospace font is for. Let me do this.
The only reason I said fixed space is when you go into your font menu, you'll find them in a category called fixed space.
Fixed width.
Fixed width, yeah.
You know what? I am not a huge fan of the new font picker. And also, because I set this up when I set this up, and I highly suggest everybody do this. Let me get rid of both of these because they're getting on my nerves right now. I highly suggest everybody do this. This doesn't show you your collections, but I highly suggest that you build collections. And the way that they set the font picker up right now, they just had to get it to work with the new setup. We don't have the collections because normally in collections, you can come here and you can say, find all of the fixed width. And right now, we don't have that capability. So what I'm going to do is you got a program that comes on your Mac. It's called FontBook. Every Mac has it. And then it's been a minute since I've played with this because I normally don't use the clock like that. So I haven't put in a fixed width. But if you go down here at the very bottom in Paul's information, it says fixed width. So I do not read Sanskrit. I click on fixed width and I see what do I have. I have VCR, I have Sport Mono, which is not active. And then I don't know if I like any of these. All right, let me take a look at Sport Mono because that might be good. Let's hit the download button. Oh, I know what else we can do is I'll show you guys from Adobe. Let's see what they have in the Adobe party. If you happen to be a Creative Cloud subscriber, people forget about this one section of it, depending on what you have. But you have something called fonts.adobe.com, right? Which is this. And what I like that they've been doing recently is they've been building collections for you. So if you know nothing about design, but you kind of know what you want, which is normally backwards. Normally people know what they want and they can't design it. But there's a lot of people who know what they want, but there's no way that they can design it. Or you got the people that have both problems. If you have both problems, you're just in the world of hurt. But however, you can come over here and you can type in fixed width. I forgot a D. You type in fixed width and then you'll see if it works. Over here, they also might put it as monospace because they would use the proper words on something like Adobe. So widescreen looks like a dope font for this particular situation because you want something that's a little thick for a counter. You don't want it to be thin unless you're trying to pull off that Swiss Subway type joint. So I can take this guy and then I can say add the font. Now, one thing that is a trip. What do you mean I'm not signed in? One thing that's a trip with Adobe's new setup, you sometimes have to do one extra step in order to make it work in programs that are not Adobe official programs, but it depends on the licensing of the font. This is not the case with all fonts. And let's put you guys on something else, because I just realized this might be junk for the simple reason that a whole bunch of people won't have Adobe fonts. Let's take you to the free spot. What's it called? Fonts.google.com. Okay, let's do it this way. Actually, I'll use one of these against my better judgment. But if you come down here and you look on the side, let's see what they got. You got business, conventions, blah, 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 loud, appearance, ping me bean, calligraphy, serif. We're going to keep scrolling down. Technology. Technology might consider fixed width. And then they got seasonal. That's weird, Google. You didn't give us a fixed width category. So let's try here. MONO space. Okay. And let's see. Roboto Mono Inconsolata is a very famous one. A lot of programs already have that built in. Dang, it's weird. All of their fixed widths looks exactly the same or very similar. Like if you looked at them quickly, you would never be able to get, hey, that's this font. Let's do this. Let's add one more characteristic. It's called headline. Nothing. Let's go display. Nothing. Jerks. Let's go to fixed width. Nothing. Jesus Christ, homie. See, this is what happens when you try to use free shit. It's harder. Well, when you pay for what you pay for, you can find what you want a heck of a lot quicker. Just mono by itself. Appearance equals monospace. Oh, there you go. Oh, they have this filter button, but it didn't really show. Let's go. Okay, there we go. Major mono display is 1. Okay, let's try headline. Headline and mono normally just mean, you know, kind of fat. These are just terrible. See what happened when I try to help y'all? I'll be over here struggling all day. I saw one. Oh, that's disgusting. I'm coming to the chat in a second because this is starting to get on my nerves. This is funny. If you're doing a gamer stream, 64 is your answer. Write that down. Ubuntu. Yo, these are terrible. Oh, let's try something. Let's go to look for wide over here. Monospace and stencil would be good. Let's try stencil. No, that's ugly. There we go. I found a couple. Oh, these are very terrible. Gretchen, you know what this is like since you are a painter? You know when you're trying to find that very particular, it's green and purple, get on my damn nerves. Because for some reason, green and purples, when you're trying to find that right one, make you want to fight. Like I feel like when it comes to yellows, oranges, reds, whatever, I can get down. But green and purple, trying to get the right one, especially the way they mix. Green and purple, when you're mixing it, can go from pretty to brown and dirty in like 4 seconds. And so when you're trying to find the right shade of one of those two, you'd be like, all the fruity language is coming out.
That's why the people that really know their stuff know what pigment is in each color, in each separate paint, because certain pigments do certain things. I don't know that. I just mix them and go, oops, that one turned brown. I'll use it someplace else.
That's the little short dudes from Africa? Sorry, that was stupid. I'm going to use something called Jockey One. Sounds good. All right. Anyway, see, I'm sorry, guys. You guys do it the free way. It's just going to take you longer. If I use Adobe, I was done in 2 seconds. I was legit done in 2 seconds. All right, let's close this. And then hopefully Ecamm bites it. Some fonts will load without you having to reload the program. Other fonts will not. So once you find it, all you do is, download it, open the zip, and then you double tap that. And then Fontbook should be like, install that baby. And then you be like, hey, girl. And then now it's in here. So in my list of fixed fonts, Jockey 1 should be right there, and it's Active Vegas, and then it's back to Vegas. So now we come to Ecamm and hope that it loaded. So I can close these. Hey, I wonder if the option spiral closes them all. Nope. Command option spiral? Nope. Damn. Come on, Mac OS. Because you don't want to sit there and have to close 26 of these suckers. But I highly suggest if you ever get a chance, every couple times you're in here, close one. All right, so I'm going to close that and start again. If it didn't bite, this whole exercise would be stupid. There we go. It did bite. There we go. Now we're cooking with Pam. Don't auto start. And my hour is not really an hour anymore. So let me go fix the time now. I'm going to give you guys 45 minutes, knowing that we lie all the time. And the reason for it is what I have to show the class today requires absolute time. All right, let's go. This is also why you do these shits ahead of time. All right, let's go. Let's see what people are talking about in the chat. Rich said, I put my numbers on top of the colored boxes so that the box width doesn't change. The line of numbers. Oh, you know what? I should have read the comments while I was over there fighting. That's actually smart. If you do the text box first, and I guess I'll show you what Rich is talking about in case you are unfamiliar. Hit the plus box, bingo. Put a box like this. Any size box you can adjust is your world. And then take the numbers like this, turn off the background. Background equals hero, and then we don't really care about text margin or whatever, doesn't matter. Border color, hero, and then you just put the numbers like such. And then
that font lied.
Huh? I know, right? It's moving, right?
Uh-huh.
Bitch, I'm not messing with it. But so Rich is saying, do it like this, line them up together, and then you can't really tell because the box is not jumpy. I still don't like the font dancing back and forth, but yeah, that is not a fix. Anyway, that whole exercise was wasted on air. I'll fix it later. I'll go use the damn font that I said. Anyway, that was cool. I even forgot the name of what was the Adobe one that we pulled. So,
Wide.
huh?
I got it. I think it was called Wide. Let me look.
Dude, Paul, the fact that you snuck that note in real quick is actually pretty gangster. It's called widescreen. I found it. Yo, the fact that you actually had that like note in you, like you wrote it down, is pretty gangster. All right, so I'm gonna attempt to tell you guys something that may or may not stick, but I want you to try this because I dawned on me something yesterday. Want to do it? K9124. How's it? Welcome to the party. It dawned on me something yesterday. I was talking to Karen about this because, like, she watches these videos from this creator that helps out people who are doing her type of reselling / arbitrage, or, whatever you call it. Reselling is what most people call it, but, you go to thrift facilities or whatever, and you find really good goods that got turned in, but, it's not really selling for whatever reason. And most of the times it's because places like Goodwill, he just went German, didn't he? Goodwill. Places like Goodwill and Salvation Army, they don't really have a lot of staff. And they have to keep their inventory turning over. So what happens if it doesn't sell in a certain amount of time, they put it in a gigantic thing. You know those big ones that you always see in the movies where they put the person in it and they cover it with blankets and then they roll in and they jump out, right? Like the big laundry thing that's like huge. Looks like a trash can. they put it in that and they bring it to a clothing facility, and you go in there and there's no order, there's no hangers, there's no separate. You just in the big bins and you sort through these gigantic bins and you try to find gems and you get them before they get gone. Because if they get gone from there, it goes in a boat and it gets sent to Africa. It becomes a giant hill that's really disgusting. So, you know, what resellers are doing in order to quote unquote save the planet, it's a good side business. Sometimes you're combing through those things and you find some incredible things. So she found something the other day and I said, oh, these would be perfect for like Katie or Gretchen. It's too big for Katie, but too short for Gretchen, because she found a pair of brand new, I mean, brand spanking new. Like the tags are missing, but they look like they've never been worn, or the person just wore them to take pictures in the snow and walked away. They're Mermont ski pants, and them joints do not come cheap, right? Yo, but she picked it up at the bins. And I'm like, yo, you should put these on the interweb and sell them joints. And she was like, oh, I didn't know how much they're worth or whatever, because, you know,
I set a friend up in Portugal going back a few years ago.
Yeah.
You can approach UK and American charity shops and buy it by the ton.
Yeah, so that's what it is. It's kind of like that, but you sort it before it goes to that's the last stage. So there's one more stage after that where they take it to that, and we call them, what do we call them? We call them thrift shops. But those two are actually more charity shops than a standard thrift shop. A thrift shop could be Gretchen can just take all old cameras and sell them secondhand. That technically could be considered a thrift shop. Anyway, so she watches these videos, and the information in these things are really good. Karen's very diligent about taking notes and coming up with a plan and going and following whatever the teacher says. And you guys know me. Lately, I've been speaking on one of my frustrations is that I feel like I'm talking to myself sometimes, because everybody watches the videos and everybody goes, oh, that's phenomenal. And then nobody does anything. And 2 weeks later, they're still in the same spot, right? With the exception of Paul and now this other Paul, you know, like most people aren't putting these things into action, right? So they're just lip servicing. So I'm like, okay, how do we solve this problem? Because I don't want to be mad at people for not doing it, but I ain't going to lie. I don't call it mad, but it's kind of disheartening because I spend every week doing this shit and then people don't do their shit. So I'm like, I know it's not my responsibility, but I feel responsible, is what it is, right? If everybody in the class gets an F, it's the teacher's fault. So I was like, oh, how do we make this work? So I haven't fully vetted it yet, but I've been thinking of this idea, and Gemini just updated. It's freaking amazing. Claude just updated. It's freaking amazing. And then yesterday or day before, ChatGPT was like, oh shit, I hate being in last place. And they just updated. All of them are super crazy good right now. All of them got better at doing things whole cloth. And one of the things that I think that you should do is like, okay, I saw this video that had a lot of things that hit me, right? So, you know, guys, a couple of weeks ago when we were in class, I said, this is a video you guys got to watch because I know what the frick I'm doing, and this was good. So I gave it to everybody to do for homework. And Paul, he took 3 pages of notes on what to do. And he came to class with like papers. All right, guys, look, this is what I got out of it. So I get that many of us are so far removed from school, we're not very good at note taking. Might not have never been good at it at school. Of course, you can use any AI situation to summarize the note for you, right? That works. But what good is the summary if you only look at it once? So I have this idea to formulate this kind of prompt, and I think anybody can do it, and I highly suggest you do it in your own voice. The prompt would look like this. Step 1, summarize this video. But don't just teacher, what's the word? Not just scan it, but like deeply summarize it, precursorily.
No, cursory.
Okay.
Cursory.
Don't give me a cursory summary. Don't curse at me, lady. Don't give me a cursory. That's why you got to have a librarian on staff, yo. You wanted to deeply analyze the video and then give you a summary. Okay, write these steps down because you got to prompt it the way you prompt it so that it will come out the way you want it. I don't want to give you a generic prompt because it's not going to work the way your brain works. You know how your brain works. And I highly suggest you tell your bot, okay, I'm going to tell you how I think my brain works. These are the things that I like when I see a teacher. This person describes my favorite teacher. This is how I study. This is how I ever perform my best in school. This is me being terrible at school, but I wish I could do better. Here's what the reasons where I failed. I mean, if you have this conversation with your bot and say, from that, help me figure out a lesson plan that works the best for me. And so the other day, AT wanted to fight me because I told her I don't want to give her my exact blueprint of how I did a year's worth of videos because it's not going to work for everybody else. Like, this is going to sound mean. God, she's not here to fight me. I don't have, like, there's no nice way to say this. I don't have, like, I can't do this excuse muscle. Any excuse muscle I have is I just don't want to do it. Like, there's a difference. Like, there's the people who want to do it but say they don't want to do it. For me, when I don't want to do it, I full ass don't want to do it. Like, there's no excuse muscle. Like, oh, I'm tired today. I'm not going to do it. Because I'll do shit when I'm tired. Right? Me not wanting to do something is I straight up don't want to do it. So, anyway, you go in and you say, okay, so analyze a video. Deeply analyze it. Spend some time. Right? And then she said, yes, I'm here. Okay, good to see you. So, then you tell it to dig into my learning style and give me a summary that works with my learning style. And then step 3 is you tell it to make you an action plan that will allow you to take action on what it was in the video that you said inspired you. What it was in the video that you told yourself. Sometimes we lie to ourselves too. I ain't gonna lie. I do it. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. No, you can't. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to come up with an exact plan. And if you've been spending time talking to your bot over the last 2.5 years, it actually knows. If you haven't spent time talking to your bot over the last 2.5 years, I got some things that I can help you with to help you get it to understand you better. I'm going to say, Paul, at the bottom, Paul, not top Paul. I'll let y'all work with that. Bottom Paul has spent a lot of time in Gemini. I'm pretty sure Gemini understands this old British turd, right? Like, that Paul lives in Gemini, right? So I'm sure if he says, okay, listen, you know me, I'm busy, I'm mechanically inclined, like I'm not the biggest tech nerd, but they're saying something that I think I can use. Doc went a little crazy and a little nerdy. Can you dumb this down for me the way it will work for me, right? And it will understand it. I bet you your Gemini even understands your random British sayings, like where we might not understand, right? When you say off you pop, he's not that posh, but if you said off you pop, like everybody else in here would be like, what? But your bot would understand that because you've had conversations with it, okay? Whether textually or voice. I highly suggest you do this with voice because you're more likely to say what you really mean. When you try to type out your answers, you'll start second guessing and correcting and do whatever. So I highly suggest you have the interviews happen via voice. And at the moment, ChatGPT does have the best voice model. Gemini would be second, and Claude's voice model kind of needs some help, but it does work. Okay, so we did the summary. We did the pull out the key points. We did the build me an action plan. Now, here is the key step. I need you to design a rubric. Use this word specifically because it's a nerd and you're not. I need you to design a rubric that will allow me to test against the knowledge that I've just gained, to test against the practice that I'm doing, and to test against the result I'm having. And at the end, you're going to have it make you do a post-mortem, which is I've done these actions, here's how they worked. So that you guys on the next trip can develop a better plan. And this is how you and it will both get the opportunity to improve. So real simple. It could be a video, a PDF, a document, or whatever. For a video, you're going to get the transcript. The best way I know to get the transcript from a publicly available video is twofold. You take the audio, which you can download. Anybody in the chat doesn't know how to download a video from, I can't say the word right now because they'll get mad at me, but anybody not know how to download a video from this thing we're doing right now? If you don't, let me know. I can tell you in the chat, but I can't tell you in the TV because it scans
Use the
that
fabric
word.
softener.
Huh?
Just use the fabric softener.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Use a fabric softener. That's the answer. It's on sale right now on this Black Friday thing called Editor's Choice, and it has a whole bunch of apps. I don't need it because I have SetApp, but I saw that it's on sale right now, along with a bunch of other cool software.
You were talking about ChatGPT and the update. One thing that ChatGPT has done now is it's kind of combined all its models into one, and it kind of
Figures it out.
sorts out,
Yeah.
figures that. I was watching a video the other day from a guy, and it was pretty interesting. And one of the things that he mentioned is what you want to put in the beginning of your prompt is think hard about this,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
think deeply about this,
Yeah, I do
or
that.
think carefully about this, and it will trigger it to use its thinking, because you can tell if it's using the thinking mode because it says it thought about it for X number of seconds.
Okay, so you're correct, and I do that. The other one that you do in that same process, and I've done this, I may have changed the words a little bit, but I've done this as well. Let me paste it in the chat. Oh, this might not fit. This might not fit. Let me know where that chunk is. Okay, it did chop it off. Let me grab you the second half of that, because YouTube chopped it off. For those of you in Zoom, you guys caught the whole thing. Against only, and then nobody type anything in the chat just yet. 1 second. Bingo. There's the second half. You get both of those. You want to say, before you respond, create an internal rubric that defines a world-class answer to my request, and then internally iterate your work until it scores a 10 out of 10 against the rubric. Only show me the final perfect output, especially using, I added this last part, especially using the latest YouTube trends for good quality description, title, thumbnails, and pinned comments. That's mine. You can change the bottom to whatever you're doing. So if Gretchen is searching for good books, is that the one from Jeff?
Let me look. I can't remember who it was from.
It should have been Jeff Suit, because that is where I got that extra part.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you do the
that's-
think hard about this, and then you add this thing at the end. It's called the perfection loop. And what that causes the bot to do is not just spit out a random answer, especially since all the models now have thinking, right? So now it won't just give you the speed answer. And yes, it will take a little bit longer. And if you're on a free program, you're going to run out of credits faster, but your answers are going to be better, 100% better. Not a little bit better, not a tiny percent better, not 10% better. They'll be 100% better because you're asking it not to freaking just make shit up, right? And so, go ahead.
He also mentioned something about using XML sandwiches, and it
Oh,
was
I
like,
always prompt that way.
those were cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I highly recommend people, if you're using ChatGPT, to watch that video.
The reality is that works for all of them. It's not just ChatGPT, but Jeff, secretly, he's employed at Google. he's a project manager at Google. Not even for this, but for something else. But I use those XML sandwiches. If you guys ever seen prompts that I've given you, it's normally in there. It knows what to do nowadays as well. It has gotten better since he made that video. It was probably like 6-7 months ago. There's been 2 double updates. So Gemini especially can take, no matter how dumb the prompt is, Gemini can run with it. Like, it just knows because it has the most information. It has all the Google results, right? So it tends to be the best when it comes to that kind of deep level thinking. But again, super simple. If you need a transcript, use the program I just showed you on the screen. Download it. You can tell it to just pull the transcript, and then you paste that in. If it's a PDF, boom. If you have Chrome, there's a plugin from a company called Glasp, which you can install, GLASP, and it will pull the transcript for you. Anyway, so you paste the transcript in, ask it to deeply analyze the transcript, ask it to summarize the key value points, ask it to give you not only a study guide, but a step-by-step to-do list in order to make you put these things into action. Come up with a plan for you. Then ask it to double check your work, give you review points. All right, you can. I like the term waypoints because I'm ex-military. If I'm going to drive from Gretchen's house to ECAM headquarters, I'm going to have some stops along the way to double check. Those are waypoints. You're going to get more gas. You're going to look at the tires. You're going to take a dump. You're going to eat. Waypoints. That's what they're called. That's what they're called in your GPS, right? And so you're going to have it give you a place to check yourself, because what happens, too many of us, all of us, every single one of us, be running fast, getting somewhere, and don't start the clock. Running fast, getting somewhere, and never check our results. So we think we're fine, and then we find out too late that we went 100 miles an hour the wrong direction. So that's literally in a nutshell. If you wrap this up, bro, it will make your life work. And I guess I asked the people in the chat, is there anybody here who don't think they can figure this prompt out? Again, I don't want to give you some generic prompt because it needs to work the way your brain thinks. Or if you have questions about how to ask it to build you a study guide. Oh, hold up, pump the brakes. Everybody stop what you're doing. I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. We have a professional educator on the panel today. If you were going to build in your head how the pulse as your students think, what are the key words or key scaffolding that you would build to describe them as students?
Okay. Probably first I would have them.
Hold on. Go ahead.
First off, I would have them tell me the key words that they think describe themselves. Because the best teacher first asks the students what they know. You don't want to start with what you know and assume that they don't. So you start with what they know.
I think I said that, but if I didn't, that's gold. I'm not sure if I said that. I think I said, tell it that this is how I learned in school and this is where I was good and this is where I was bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was in
and
the
that
right
type
ballpark.
of thing.
Thank you.
And then I would probably ask them, if it's a general thing, what it is that they want to get better at. And I would also tell them what my end goal of this whole thing is. So if I have a lesson plan, I'm going to start with what's called a, oh gosh, it's been a while. It's a set. It's a lesson set. By the end of this, I'm hoping you will know ...
Is that,
and we'll
is that what
understand
we
that.
had as objectives when we went to school?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, but it's a set. So if you dive into a lesson with students without them knowing what the end goal is, they flounder.
So number 3 is know what the end goal is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a general knowledge of what the end goal is, because you can always take it further when the kids will undoubtedly come up with something smarter than you ever figured out.
Well, it's kind of like, if you're in a ship and you leave port, you need to know where you're headed. Otherwise, who knows where you may end up at.
Now, I don't want to do an Alicia here, but on how many occasions has Doc assumed the knowledge that we know?
Ooh, snap.
All the time.
Sorry to put a knife in your back there.
No, it's not a knife in the back, because this is a thing, and I feel a lot of us do this because, okay, I'll give you a prime example. Karen.
Looking to see if the coast is clear.
Yeah. Hey, how come you didn't do so and so and so? Because you didn't tell me something. I shouldn't have to tell you. You should just know you need to do that. Huh? The fuck? What? No, you didn't know. I wanted you to do it this way, and you should have did it that way, and you didn't do it that way. And I'm like, listen, lady, 26 and a half years. I have no idea what the fuck you want. Okay. How long you and Bob been married?
Um, 48 years in a week.
Jesus. And Bob is the same question this morning. What the fuck does Gretchen want me to do today? He don't know. For 50 years, bro, he has no freaking clue. He ain't got a damn clue. So
Yeah,
he
we've
just
been
do
together
his
for
best and
51 years.
right? He
We've
do
been
his
together
back
for
and
50
duck. 51.
Well, we met.
Yeah,
I mean, we met my second year of college, my freshman year. My second week of college, my freshman year. Yeah.
I don't know
So
about y'all countries,
70.
but in America, 51 years together is a fucking gold medal and a half.
You could have robbed 2 banks and been released by now.
Bro, thank you. You could have did homicide and got out of jail by then, right? You know, manslaughter is only 20. You guys could have done 2 stints in jail. Al Capone spent less time in jail. Damn, girl. All
Oh my
right,
God.
congratulations. Not congratulations, Gretchen. I'm going to call Bob. Congratulations, Bob. You a gangster. You put over her. She get on my nerves. It's only been like 5 years. All right, so I'm gonna rewrite what Gretchen said. I did write notes. Okay, describe yourself, right, and your learning style, the way you think it. Then, what you want to improve, and then what I want as a student to take away from this. You know what I'm saying?
And one other thing I would add to that is that I would ask my students, what do you think your biggest strengths are and what are your biggest weaknesses? And then look around and pair up with those who don't have the same thing you do.
Okay.
I taught kindergarten for a long time. By the end of the year, I had my kindergartners writing books. At the end of the year, at the big thing, they had full-on books because they had somebody who could write, somebody who could draw, and some all figured out other kind of things together. And they would get in groups of 3 and they would work as a team and nobody ever fought.
Damn, that's good.
So pairing up with the people that have your same strengths doesn't necessarily help you. It just, then you either just try to one up each other or pat each other on the back for doing the same thing. It's when you find people that have different strengths than you and you work with them that you really grow.
That's super good. All right, we got to send a big shout out to Roy over here. Thank you, Roy, for sending the super chat. I appreciate you, brother, and keep working on what you're working on. As we say in the hood, you got to keep on keeping on. Yo, I just cleaned this son bitch, and my pen is stuck. Aubrey, what do you do when it's full but no ink is coming out? I just washed it too.
Don't you squeeze that little plastic thing really hard while it's
No,
pointing at you?
it's
That
gonna.
usually
I'm only giving it a slight squedge. If you squeeze it too hard, it's going to drip out. I'm wondering because I was writing on some dumb paper that if it jacked it up, but yo, right in the middle, I just cleaned this sucker. Okay, it's working. The squeeze worked. Strength and weakness. All right, I like that, Gretchen, giving a good strength and weakness test. So again, if anybody in the chat, now that we got the answers from Gretchen, anybody in the chat who doesn't think they can do this, tell me why. And Paul, especially since you are the person who, like the bottom, Paul, since you are the person who has the crazy questions the most, I think you're a good canary for this cold mine. For the same thing you said about Alicia. Alicia's not here. I would have put that on Alicia if she was here. She's in the chat, but she's not in class right now. So I would have put that on Alicia because she's also a very good canary for this coal mine. You guys...
Well, it's a very hard thing for you to do is teach different variants of knowledge.
Correct.
In multiple different fields. And, I agree. I wish Gretchen was around when I was in school because I used to
Get
for
beat.
30, well, for 10 years in school, they used to write on the whiteboard and assume that everyone could transfer those notes to paper at the allocated speed that they were writing.
Oh my
And I
God,
was the
100.
and I was the dunce. I was the dunce in class. But the subjects that I had interest in were the ones that I excelled in.
Bro, let me tell you something. I was straight up on the path of special ed until about 3rd grade when one of the teachers realized, I don't think he dumb. I just think he can't see the board.
They took me for IQ tests, and then they were scratching their head like anything.
Yes, exactly. So I got sent to the special ed. Let's test this, see how good this person is. I get to the special ed test, and it's like he scores off the charts, but in class he performs terribly. Okay, so when you go from 3rd grade to 4th grade, we went from single classroom to 4 classrooms in a day, right? And they scrambled the classes up because they were testing out some new learning shit. Okay, when it got to 4th grade, you had one class in this classroom, one class in this classroom, then you move around. So here's what they figured out. One teacher figured it out. In my first 2 classes, I have an Alexander and an Anderson and Abbott and a Bailey and a Baker and then a Boyd. I'm in the back of the class, straight line, because you sit alphabetically, right? But then when I get to my 3rd class, I'm in the 2nd seat. Right? When I get to my 4th class, I'm in the 1st seat. There's no A's in my class. There's no other B's in the class. So I excelled at the last 2 classes, but I was shit in the first 2 classes. And it wasn't subject matter because when I do my test, I'm fine. But when she asked me questions in the board, whatever, and she's like, yo, I just think that dude can't see. So I'd go get the little nerd glasses and, military kids. So BCGs, have you never seen them? Yo, that's a good way to get beat up in school. They thick. When you see the typical nerd glasses, that thick acrylite, now people wear them on purpose. Wait, let me get Gretchen today. It's kind of like these, but black. Yo, me and Gretchen matching today, gangster. Oh, yeah. So these are like 5X. I can't wear those when I'm working. These are only for a circuit board. I think it's time for a thicker set. Look at them. Jesus Christ, bro. You can see people on the map. But yeah, it was really funny. Like they thought I was dumb. And then once he figured it out and I got my glasses, I became a straight A student. So you have that part of it. You also have, when we were growing up, nobody knew what the hell ADHD was. So when we start sidetracking or, the teacher style just doesn't match. And when we grew up, when the kid didn't do good, the teacher was always like, not me, I got a degree. I'm smart. The kid's stupid. It wasn't like,
it wasn't even a term back then. I started teaching in 1983, and the term ADHD was not a medical term yet. Tourette's wasn't even a medical term yet. It wasn't. They weren't even known. All it was known was in the school I taught as, give them to Gretchen. She knows what to do with them for some reason. She brings in a refrigerator box and lets the kid put his desk inside of it, and be his desk for the day,
so
and it works.
He liked the comfort of a hug kind of thing.
She lets them lay down on the floor or lean against the wall to take tests or do stuff, but which are things that are common now in classrooms. But back then, I was that
hippie teacher.
Few who knew what my history had been thought, she's that crazy farm girl who managed a head shop. This is kind of where she's gone.
Yeah, my hippie teacher was the one that basically saved me. She even told my mom that the medication that I was taking for being bad was bad for me. Like, it was messing me up. She's like, give him coffee. And you know what I take for my ADHD now? Amphetamine. Basically coffee. Different at a controlled clip, right? So, hey, Kleb, what is up, Kleb? Thank you so much for joining us today. So, yeah, it's kind of funny that, this isn't working. So, again, if somebody thinks that they can do this, let me know in the chat. I'll try to come up with a plan. I'm probably going to make it a video, but I'm trying to make sure that from you guys, I see where the struggle bus is before I make the video, because I think this will be an important video and it might require a little bit more put together production so that more people can see it. But you basically go to your bot, first have it interview you to understand your style. And the other thing I would ask you guys is a whole different situation that we're probably going to work on in class today. How well do you think your bot understands your voice? Why is she laughing?
Well, that's assuming that we put together a bot. And we just don't randomly.
Sorry, I'll take it back. Let me fix the word. By bot, I just mean ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini,
Oh,
whatever.
well, you know,
not a specific.
I visit chat once in a while.
Okay.
Not a. I mean, I don't have we have an acquaintance.
All right, so you don't have the running conversation with it. So you see,
No.
This is why had I given you just a generic prompt to do what we talked about today, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all, and you'd be like, Doc's an idiot. No, it can't work because it needs to know you, right? Which is why I highly suggest everybody that you have it interview you. Like, I know there's some concerns and things about like, oh, if it's going to steal all your information, you could have it interview you and get personality traits and not give up any quote unquote personal information. Like, that's a whole different thing. There's people that you know in your neighborhood where you could do a full ass FBI level personality profile about them. You have no idea when their birthday is, but you have enough to know that they killed their husband or not, or wife. I watch a lot of true crime. I'm sorry. Right. If it uploads your soul to Skynet, Caleb, that would be a very beneficial thing because I know you and I'm fully aware you do not have a soul. So the only souls they can upload from you is from your Adidas. Gretchen, what do you put? You moving on the screen that came out from behind that line and it looked almost like there was a ghost in, like 3 Men and the Baby. Where your bookshelf ends on the screen, like where your name says Gretchen, you move something on the screen. See, your hand doesn't go all the way to Paul. So you slid something on your eCam and it came up behind the picture and it looked really creepy for a second because it's your camera isn't full screen. You have a little slither on the on this side. In the middle.
Okay.
And so you had moved something and it was like a little graphic movement and it looked like a little ghost popped out, like 3 Men and the Baby. There you go. Yo, that was weird.
Like that? Oh, there's I put lights underneath the desk, some strip lights, because it's so dark underneath there. And so the light over here is probably reflecting off of that and flashing back and forth.
Oh, that's crazy. That messed me up for a second. See, I have my hardcore ADHD. So yeah,
that's Bob and I on a motorcycle back there. Picture.
That's Paul in his motorcycle gang days. He was out here enjoying his life. So yeah, one Paul with the bicycle, one Paul with the motorcycle. Look at that hair, dude. You guys look like a metal band. That is super cool. That's super cool.
Yep.
So anyway, Caleb, I'll tell you what, since you came at the end, and this will be a good recap for everybody. Here's what I have everybody working on. And if you want a generic one, I'll give it to you, but I'm gonna tell you it's not gonna work. So I try to avoid the problems of just not giving it to you and teach you how to do it because it's super simple. You're gonna grab a transcript for any video that's something that you absolutely liked. Actually, you know what? I just decided, and I'm going to have Caleb help me make this. We need to do this for the company too, because I am so over the moon of people. Just a nice way I said it, over the moon, Alice. Of people like come to all of the stuff and then they're like, oh my God, this is so good. This is so inspiring. I'm going to fix my things. And then like 2 weeks later, we're doing a different person. Jeff C will come by and have a similar talk about thumbnails. And oh my God, this is so dope. Oh, thank you, Ecamm. Thank you for doing this. And then a month and a half later, we'll bring over another person and, Daniel Batal going to talk about thumbnails. And, oh my God, this is so fire. This one. And their thumbnails still like shit. Like they ain't really did nothing. They just come in and blowing smoke in my ass. And I don't like that. So here's what we say, Cleb. You're going to take a transcript from some video that impacts you, no matter what it is, no matter the subject, no matter what. If something hits you and you're like, I need to learn that, I want to learn that, this is the skill I want to improve at, you're going to get a transcript for that video. However, I highly suggest you use the program that's named the exact same as the fabric softener spelled with the IE instead of a Y. That will allow you to download the transcript from a particular video, no matter what, yours or not. Then you're going to ask your favorite chat bot, not if I say bot, it messes Gretchen up, your chat bot, Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, whomever, you're going to say, please deeply analyze this transcript and summarize the transcript. Next steps, you're going to pull out the key points of said transcript. These are very common tasks. It knows how to do very well, but here's where it's different. You can go based off of my learning style, build me a step-by-step action plan so I can put these things into action. Next line, give me points to double check my work, grade, build a rubric for me to test again as to what the performance outcomes look like. Then the last line is have me do a postmortem or interview me to do a postmortem when the project is done so we can see what worked, what didn't work, and we can improve this process as we go along. So now you're not just grabbing things that, oh my God, that's really cool. You actually grab it and you put that snoot to use, you mother. And if you get that reference, you're absolutely old. Parliament Funkadelics. And then you actually put it into action and do something. And part of it is actually inspired by bottom Paul, not top Paul. No, you're the top Paul. Bottom Paul inspired this thought process because Paul will take the crazy stuff that we talk about on the stream or the crazy stuff we talk about in class, or Paul will sneak into your guys' streams and pay attention and write something down. And then he'll figure out, and he goes, I didn't quite understand it, but from what I gathered, this is what I tried and it kind of works. I wish I could understand it totally because that system is dangerous. Like I could do a lot, but I only understand 10% of it, and look what I'm able to do. He has said that more than, 100 times in the last 3 years. Right? Am I lying? Right. So imagine if instead of you only taking the 10% of it, we have Gemini help you take 50% of it. Because it's going to explain it in a way that your broken ass head can understand. And we all have different broken ass heads in different ways. You know what I mean? So like I look at coding videos and I'm like, okay, I'm getting here, but that one just lost me. And I rewind the same thing like 8 times. Like Alicia and I were watching, Simon Sinek and not Simon Sinek. We were watching Simon Potter, Better Creating, and Thomas Frank. And when I was going through the database parts of Notion, I went through 5 different teachers and none of it was sticking. And I was like, okay, Claude, here's the database things I'm trying to learn. Here's where it's not sticking. The roll-ups and the relations are getting on my nerves. Break it down for me the way you know me. And it told me. And I was like, you bitch, that's it. That's it. Now I know what I'm doing. And so to make sure that your bot of choice understands you based off of Gretchen's recommendations, tell it that you want to, I could do an example. I'll do an example and then I'm going to eat. All right, let's see. Message from my family. Family, do you understand that I am busy right now? Don't be asking me shit. Oh, she's stupid.
But the other thing that, filling in the blank here with like, for example, with ChatGPT, it used to be if you put a link to a video in it, it would basically tell you, I can't interpret that or something of that nature. Now you put the link to the video in, it will go through it, it will analyze the video for you. You don't have to put a transcript anymore like I used to have to do. It's improved greatly.
Okay, so we're going to do this for Caleb's sake because they got it, but they want to be show. So if anybody else had to ask, I told them to F off, but it's Caleb, and that's my baby girl. So let's ask this question. Hey, I have a kind of strange situation I'm going to ask you. I want to develop a sort of, let's call it a rubric for you to understand my learning styles. And that,
Absolutely.
hold on, lady, let me finish and I'll tell you when to go. How about that?
Oh, my bad. Totally understand. I'll wait for your cue. Just let me know when you're ready to dive in, and we'll shape that rubric exactly how you want it.
Okay, thank you. So what we're going to do is first, I'm going to describe to you what I think my learning style is. I'm going to explain how I worked in school, what worked best for me, what didn't work for me. So I think I could be wrong. Then I'm going to talk to you about what I want to improve upon. Then I'm going to explain to you what I, as a student, want to take away. And then I'm going to explain to you what I think my strengths and weaknesses are. We're going to take this rubric, and at some point in time, I'm going to use these as sort of an instruction set or a memory that if I find an inspiring video, article, PDF that explains something that's going to help me improve myself, my business, some particular skill, whether it be editing in DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro, learning how to speak better as a speaker, learning how to get more income as a content creator, working on brand deals, whatever the case may be, you're going to take that and align it against this rubric and help me build a step-by-step action plan so that I can put those learnings to use and get some positive outcomes. And then the most important takeaway after this is we're going to need a rubric to test against to make sure that I did actually grok all of this information. And then we're going to do a postmortem so that we can test against to see what worked, what didn't work, what better outcomes we can have, so forth, so on, et cetera. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, that makes perfect sense. We'll treat it kind of like your own personalized roadmap for learning and growth. Once we have your learning style, strengths, and the areas you want to improve all laid out, I'll help you match any new resources to it and create a step-by-step plan. Then we'll have a sort of check-in rubric to see how well it worked and do a little debrief afterward. So whenever you're ready to dive in, we can start building that out together.
Okay, so I think that I do very well with seeing things and getting inspired by it, and I tend to understand things relatively well. If I don't, I'm very good at asking the questions of what I don't understand. I think where I want to improve is I want to improve on taking those learnings and actually putting them into action. I think if I just learn something and I disseminate it really quickly to somebody else, I might remember it forever. But if I learn something and I don't take action right away, like literally 3-4 days later, I have no idea what I said I learned that I thought I was super, super good. And so I kind of want to improve upon the ability to take those steps, put them into action, and also figure out what I think the takeaways should be. In my particular case, I'm going to say what I want the takeaways to be on a case-by-case basis. And because I have a wide swath of education, learning desires, I think I will do my strengths and weaknesses around this topic on a case-by-case basis.
Got it. So we'll shape this rubric to reflect that you're a visual and hands-on learner, and that you thrive when you can quickly put something into practice or teach it to someone else. We'll focus on building in that immediate action step so you can really lock it in and keep it from slipping away. And since you want to tailor takeaways and assess your strengths or challenges on a case-by-case basis, we'll leave some flexible space in the rubric for that. That way, whenever you find a new skill, whether it's DaVinci Resolve or nailing those brand deals, you can plug it in and get a custom action plan that really sticks. Let's do this.
Okay, so the way we're going to make this work, and I'm going to have you help me formulate a prompt that will work so that we can do this together, is when I see a video that, sparks my interest, I'm going to send you a transcript of that video. If I happen to do some workshop or some class and there's a PDF or some takeaway, I'll give you that. If it's something where I can just only send you handwritten notes, I'm going to give you those. No matter what the input is, your goal is to deeply analyze it. And I mean deeply analyze it. Don't do one of these precursory things. Like use whatever the latest and greatest model, dig deep, go through it the best you can, check it against, any other information on the web that will support this. Then from there, you're going to give me the summary. After the summary, you're going to give me the key takeaway points. And after the key takeaway points, you're going to design a step-by-step action plan. And with that action plan, we're going to have places to check in. Call them waypoints or whatever terminology you want to use. Just a way to check in so we're not going 100 miles an hour the wrong direction. And then we'll have that postmortem to check to make sure we're okay. We're okay. So if you can draft that prompt real quick and put it on the screen visually, I'm going to read this out to my audience because, well, I'm showing them how to do this live.
Absolutely. Let's put that all together.
Let's see how
into
smart
a
she is.
prompt you can share live. Here we go. Doc Rock's Deep Dive Learning and Action Prompt. When I come across a learning resource like a video, a PDF, or even my handwritten notes, I'm going to send it to you. Your job is to deeply analyze it and then help me turn it into a practical plan. Instructions, deep analysis, thoroughly examine the provided resource. Use the latest tools, dive in deeply, and if needed, cross-reference with info on the web to enrich your understanding. We want to make sure we're not just skimming the surface. Provide a concise summary of the key ideas. Key takeaways, list out the main takeaway points that I should focus on. Action plan, design a step-by-step action plan based on those takeaways. Make it practical and tie it to how I can immediately apply what I learned. 5, check-in points, include waypoints or small checkpoints so I can pause and make sure I'm on the right track rather than speeding off course. 6, postmortem, after I've implemented the plan, we'll do a postmortem to reflect on what worked, what didn't, and how to tweak it next time. Feel free to share this exact prompt with your audience. We can definitely tweak the wording if you need, but this should give them a great idea of the whole process.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll be back in a bit.
You're very welcome. Take your time, and I'll be here whenever you're ready to jump back in.
This ain't that hard, people. This ain't that hard. Y'all see the look on Paul's face? He don't smile much. He's an old cranky motherfucker, but look at him. Grinning ear to ear. You can do this, right, Paul? No, bottom Paul. Caleb, that's bottom Paul and top
Yes.
Paul. That's their new names.
Yes, I do that regularly.
Right? Right? Like I'm telling you, this is all you need. Because again, and I get it, we've all done it. You know, we watch some video, we like, yo, this is gangster. I think I'm ready. And then you might even start out to do it and you done forgot what it said. Now, if you're at the computer, of course you can sit down and play the video again. But even taking the video and playing it again, all right, I'll use cooking as an example. Even if you follow the recipe step by step, you can't, if you don't have the paper, right? I got people in my family right now be cooking the same mother freaking macaroni and cheese every Thanksgiving for 40 years. You know what they do on Wednesday night? Pull out that crumply ass piece of paper with the recipe on it. And I'm like, but why though? And they're like, oh, because it's the recipe. I was like, I know the damn recipe just from eating it for 40 years. What are you talking about? Why do you need that paper? Oh, you know. And I'm like, nah, dog, it's super simple. You need 2 cups of milk. You need 1 cup of flour. You need 2 pounds of cheese, which is bullshit. Let's double that to 4. You need 2 sticks of butter, salt, pepper, whole ass onion cut in half that you did the burn the onion in the frying pan to get the Maillard reaction. You put the 2 halves of onion in the milk, bring the milk to a slow warm with the onions in it. Put in a clove in the onion, right? Drop in the bay leaf. Let that sucker come to temperature. While that's happening, grate the cheese. Don't buy pre-grated cheese. Pre-grated cheese has that powder on it, that white cocaine stuff. That's when y'all have the macaroni with the juice come out. That's because you use pre-grated cheese with that stupid white shit that they put on it so it don't stick together. But if you grade your cheese by hand like a boss, you don't have that problem. Right? So if you got runny ass mac and cheese, you bought shredded cheese, you lazy mother. So grind that sucker up. Oh, by the way, you need 1 yellow and 1 white. We want mixed race cheese, just straight up 1 color cheese. Why your white folks cheese don't taste good, right? So you hit it with a little salt and pepper. And when you make your cheese sauce, you build the roux first, pour the hot milk in it, bring it to temperature, add the cheese, bingo, put in your al dente macaroni and cheese, pour it in the pan, 450 till the bitch turn brown. What you got that piece of paper for? And if the kids ain't coming, I added jalapenos and bacon. That's it. Now you know how to make black folks mac and cheese with seasoning. That simple. Doesn't need no damn piece of paper. But I got people in my family 40 years making the same shit. They pull the paper out. It's a crutch. It's an absolute
They have
crutch.
that sheet of paper. Consider this.
Nope. I'm a bitch.
He's
I'm
not
petty.
going to consider you.
I'm petty.
The learning styles go back to learning styles. Sometimes that comfort zone is part of the learning style. And it's what they put their effort into other things. The way you do it, Doc, and the way you would do it is your way.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
It's not right,
Joking.
wrong, good, or bad.
I'm
It
clouding.
just is.
I'm cloudy. It's a crutch because they don't even look at the paper. I'm telling you, they just pull it out because it's a crutch. And if,
All right, I pull out my mom's recipes too because I remember being there with her making them
I
like
would
that,
accept
and
that.
I loved
I
having
would
that
accept
there.
that. If I just have it out because I feel like mom's is on the counter with me, that's it. But,
Yeah,
I mean, the point was, and that was just an example. The point is that, here we go. Where'd it go? It's on here somewhere. Somewhere it's hiding. Anywhere. So I can't tell. But anyway, let me, oh my God, why are you breaking? Why are you breaking?
Move, body, move, your body, move.
My screen not working. Thank you, Hershey. Good to see you. I don't know why my screen is broken. I have no idea why it didn't work, but hey, you know what? We're gonna call it a day. It's on the screen somewhere. Anyway, the thing is, people, and I'm giving you a chance to learn it your way. So Gretchen came up with that whole excuse, which is perfectly because it matches what I said. Instead of you taking some generic prompt you pulled off the internet and then telling it to do what it did, that's the reason why I say I'm not going to give you one, because I need you to build it the way your brain works. So all she did was verify my point. Sounded like I was getting in trouble, Paul, while you laughing. I seen you laughing the whole time. Bottom Paul. But all it did was validate my point. If you're going to keep using that as an excuse, which everybody does, and I know you believe that excuse to be true, but scientifically that excuse has been debunked. There's no such thing as a visual learner or an auditory learner. It's bullshit. You have all different modalities depending on what you're learning. It has been debunked heavily. And yet I have people that will fight on that crutch because some teacher told them that crutch and they believe that crutch, and then they use that as an excuse as to why they can't learn. It has heavily been debunked that there's no such thing. Now, you might have an internal learning style. Cool. Tell the bot to work the way you work. And if you believe that shit, then tell it to work the way you believe. But don't take a good information that somebody gave you and then be like, well, I can't learn this because I didn't have the visuals to go with it. You know what the bots know how to do? Create the mother freaking visuals. So if you believe that shit, then the bot can take whatever you want to learn and make you the visuals because they know how to make visuals. Gemini and ChatGPT both learned how to spell in the last month. So the visuals will actually have correct spelling. You can take a whole lesson plan from Caleb, where Caleb told you how to do something, and you can say, make me some slides. So when they go to the conference and the person don't give you the slides, but there's a recording, you can transcript that recording and say, generate me some slides the way I think, not the way the person wrote the slides. If they give you the slides, you can upload the slides with the same conversation and be like, that was that dude's slides, but I need my slides. Adjust the slides for my dumb ass. And it knows how to do that because you're going to have these conversations. Like the excuses with the tools we have today are, they're frustrating as hell. I don't think I'm a genius. I think what makes me smarter than most people is I keep learning. I don't think that I have some special skill. I'm not Liam fucking Nielsen. My skill is I will beat my own ass until I learn something. I don't go to bed until I learn something every day. My super fucking power is called nosy and curious and failure to lose. My superpower is I don't have bullshit ass excuses. I don't let somebody else train me into believing that I am incapable. I did until I was about 18 and I figured out that what they think about me ain't none of my damn business. Once you figure out what somebody else think is not your damn business and you start making it work for you, you can win. But if you keep holding on to the labels that somebody else gave you and you own them suckers like it's a 56 Pontiac with push button transmission, gloss and Craigar SS rims lifted in the back, cute. You can enter it in the car show. It ends up in the Peterson Museum. If you own your bullshit labels like you own a classic car or you own the diamond ring that your grandma gave you that's been in your family for 300 years, if you own your labels like that, you will stay fucked up. I'm trying to throw all of those labels away. I don't care what they said. I know where I'm trying to do. And if you don't know what you're trying to do, ask the bot, bro. The bot would do a better job of helping you figure out what you're trying to do than listen to yet another guru. You've paid for 10 and you're still in the same spot. That's because they told you what they thought because they needed the money or wanted the money. But somewhere between the chat bot and the therapist, you can find out what actually works for you. And I swear to you, I'm gonna look you dead in your face. I understand what happened this week, and we're friends, and I love you, and I'm gonna tell you from experience, do not try to take it on by yourself. Go to the therapist now. I wasted 3 years trying to take it on by myself. I won't call it wasted. Wasted is a horrible term. I spent 3 years trying to deal with it by myself, and it didn't work. So don't. There's grief counseling available for free, and you're not broke. So even if you have to pay for it, go talk to somebody ASAP. Don't fight this. I can't fight that feeling anymore. Kat, you could put that one on the list. That's a good song. But for real, I mean, as your bestie, don't put that shit on yourself. We don't have that kind of training on how to deal with some shit like this. That is all. You guys are loved. I hope this landed with somebody. I don't care who it is. I hope somebody landed this. I think that what's that dude in the middle? Medium Paul. What the hell did I say? Top Paul. Top Paul, you could even take this and have this whole conversation, what we just did, about your piano game. You know what I'm saying? Be like, I think I'm doing this, and these lessons seem to be working, but are they really? Am I lying to myself? Am I frying? Like, what should I do? Is there any exercise I can do with my fingers? And I'm old. I need to make sure that my memory stays dementia-free. What should I be doing to get my... And I know dementia's still cloudy and people don't know, but I'll try everything to keep my shit good before it kicks in. I know because I'm dealing with it, and now I've already told myself I'm not getting it. I'm going to do everything in my power. Listen, family, if I'm lying, I'm frying. If you can find me a scientific research paper that says eating fucking broccoli every day will stave off dementia, bitch, I will eat broccoli. I can't fucking stand broccoli. But my father-in-law and my mom fighting this shit for the last couple of years, bro, this disease can kiss my black ass. It is a pain in the, oh my God, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I don't wish this shit on nobody, and I had to do it twice at the same time. So as much as I hate broccoli, if some, not Dr. Oz, he's a fucktard, but if somebody else can prove to me that broccoli will slow it down, I'll start eating broccoli. I'll hold my nose and eat it. King Kruk, first of all, thank you. I know you recently popped up in the family. I'm not very good with powdery language. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight you guys until you get your shit together because I'm angry. I'm an angry old man. I'm sorry. But thank you for coming through. Thank you, Hirsch, man. Good to see you as always. you popped up in here, and Caleb. And look, Lisa J like to slide in the back door and just fix herself a drink and sit down. She always do that. She just come in, give us the finger, and move on. How you doing, LJ? Good to see you. What'd you say? No, that was just a random. Sometimes Zoom lets random audio leak through. Aubrey said, before my brain accident, I didn't know anything about brain injury. Yeah, 100%, right? This is so true. All right, gang, I got 30 minutes to eat before class. I have to calm down before class because then Alicia and Gretchen will attack me again. I'm not going to. Look, Caleb, look at my little notebook that I wrote Gretchen's notes in. Man, thank you, Gretchen. That was really smart, though, because I didn't really think about the giving it the SWOT analysis part. Sorry, SWOT. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. She just said strengths and weaknesses, but close enough. I think if you run it against the strengths and weaknesses that you think you have, because I think people also think they have weaknesses that they don't have. Right? So, you never can tell. And in my previous, we'll talk about this in class. I'm not going to do it right now. I've been having Claude analyze my videos and score them. And it's been coming up with amazing level score of, did I nail this, culturally? Did I get you guys in the areas where you're going to understand? Did I make my weird ass pop culture references? Did I speak in a tone that you guys are going to understand? Here's where I missed it. Here's where I didn't miss it. It has been kind of bananas what it has been able to do. Let me show you something fast, kind, and in a hurry.
And Doc, I think from what you just said too, the other thing to remember is that when, the ideas of our strengths and weaknesses, also we need to take into consideration the stories we've told ourselves our whole lives. Yep. Or that what we've been told, because, for the first 66 years of my life, I was not an artist. I'll be 70 next year. I didn't own a sketchbook until 2021 because I didn't believe I could draw. That was my sisters. I couldn't paint. Could do that. They could do that. We would go on art things and I would go do photography and they would laugh at me of what I did. It was the joke of oh yeah, look at Gretchen. And now look at me. That's, if you look on my Instagram, it says Gretchen Shepherd artist. Man. So it's a story that we can change.
Thank you.
We can change the story that we tell ourselves, and the possibility when we give ourselves that possibility. And I think was it Jeff or somebody said that you have your comfort zone. When you step outside that comfort zone, your comfort zone never goes back to what it was before. It's got a new boundary. And it gets bigger each time you step outside of it.
Bingo. Think of it like the Roman Empire. There's Rome. And then it just kept going. And they kept stepping outside. They were doing heinous shit, but they kept stepping out their boundary. At one point, I saw this really incredible documentary. If you tell people that in northern Mercia, it wasn't called England yet, they found this skull. And as they did some, digging, they found jewelry and expensive jewelry and blue glass, lapis azul glass. And this person was rich, but they were buried with some crazy artifacts. And then if you tell this person that you found this skull in northern, what is now England, and it was buried with all this stuff, you're already in your mind right now, you're painting a mental picture of what this person looks like. Okay. Then they said, based off these artifacts, this person was Roman, because at one point the Roman Empire was all the way up there. right? It wasn't until, I want to say, Edward took the shit back and pushed him back out. And then you had Rollo, the Viking king, had the top part, and then you had the Romans had the bottom part, and they sort of fought in the middle with Ethelred and some other people. But eventually, I think Edward was the one that put it back together. I didn't go to school in Great Britain. I don't know the history, but I'm pretty good. Anyway, they're describing this person, and the historian was like, so you have this Roman. Oh, by the way, this person was a Roman female in the UK. But here's what you're probably not thinking in your head right now. This person was of African descent. Because the Romans, anybody could be a citizen. It wasn't that you were quote unquote Italian. Anyone could be a citizen. And they welcomed it because they wanted to expand. And the reason why the Roman Empire went as far as it did, because they let everybody work together to make the shit better. We did that shit. We brought on the segregation bullshit later. And in Italy now, they have a problem with it. But their original history was anyone could be a citizen. So if you go to Algeria, people in Algeria are heavily mixed. You got French, Roman, West African, all mixed together. And that's, Algiers is like that. Morocco, whatever. You see the people that have what you call racially ambiguous faces because their history exists of a very mixed culture, and they did good. Like they thrived. It wasn't until we started being like, you can't do this. This is where society started getting fucked up. But nobody knows that because people don't study their damn history, or they only study the one time they told you in the book, which was his story. The idea of a woman having that much wealth, in the northern parts of England, running things and being exalted, unheard of today because they adjusted the books when people got greedy. They hid that part. But now we got DNA testing, carbon printing, the whole 9 yards. We know that the most powerful impact, the most powerful, what's the word I'm looking for? Empire in history was not monolithic or monocultural. It was multicultural. It was mixed race. And they thrived for years. So, just let you know, don't believe the stories that you were told. Don't believe the stories that you were told. Because they're not your stories. Never mind history, make your stories. I don't even believe about thinking too deep about your past. Because again, your past is oftentimes adjusted in your head by the things that other people said. But what is your past to you, though? All right, real quick, before I run. Paul's going to get mad at me. Let me show you an example. Bitch, go, Ecamm, do this. All right, so I had Claude basically analyze a transcript, this video. And it says, strong video with high engagement potential. I had a double hook with a pattern interrupt, and I said what the stakes are. I got the origin story, which provides credibility and authenticity. I had a pain point setup, boom, my particular audience interaction. I gave a deep baseball analogy, core concept illustrated. I had an algorithm psychology, why all bangers doesn't work, right? It broke it down. I had a selfish reframe. There's the key message. I had a vacuum principle. That was my stakes escalation, right? I talked about social media contradiction. Here's a logic argument. Gave you a call to action. Mind shift, new framework. A PB&J analogy, an emotional resonance, meaning everybody here love a PB&J, unless you're allergic to peanuts. And ain't nobody over 50 allergic to peanuts. That's some bullshit. 24-hour challenge. I'm being cantankerous. I know people are allergic. Anyway, 24-hour challenge, I gave you a specific action. Then I gave you a close and a call to action, and I sign off. Effectiveness, nailed it, 5 out of 5, right? The second hook, it was a 4 out of 5. It was good, but you can get a little bit better, right? What is the message architecture? It goes down and it breaks that down. What were my memorable quotes? These memorable quotes, every single one of these can be one of them social media posts. And Luis, if you're still here, I came up with a new thing, and I'm going to call it publish, pass. I'll let you figure it out. Stop bogarting the joint. I did hit him in the video where Wu-Tang is for the children. And so is hyper editing. Hyper editing is for the children, right? I gave the Wu-Tang reference. Look, and I didn't say the name of these people. I just say the stuff. My thing knows me so much. It knows that I do this mess. So It caught the Wu-Tang reference. It caught the Starving Like Marvin is the LL Cool J reference. It caught the gang streets analogy reference, which I'll explain to you in a second. It caught the PB&J versus fancy food. And my reference was sort of like, hey, everybody want a good steak. Everybody want that, that Wagyu A5, like $4,000 steak. But you know what else is good? When you hungry or you had a bad day or Paul getting on your nerves, a PB&J on soft bread just hit. And if you do it the way Rich told me, peanut butter jelly in the middle, I just tried it recently. Rich is not lying. I don't know why I even second guess my mans. Rich did not get to be 6'8" by eating bullshit PB&Js. Okay? So, boom, there's that. And then y'all are old enough, right? I directly acknowledge my demo. And then, of course, I have my Hawaii references as always. So let me explain the gang analogy, right? Because I said to you, if you saw the video, you understand this. If you didn't see the video, I'm going to say watch it, not because I need the views, because you need the view, okay? I said, if you are not making content because you're still crying about your fears, your somebody going to say something nasty, whatever, you are living in a space where your selfishness, your ego is blocking you from help somebody who really needs your help. Somebody really needs your help. Can you imagine Paul say, I can't teach y'all how to save $1,000 on the new wash machine because, well, I'm ugly and bald and short and British and I have an accent and I'm fucking with him. Nobody wants to see this shit. I don't know anything about tech. I'm really bad cameraman, whatever. Paul take his phone and his webcam and his fucked up accent and his high school dropout. And he's like, listen, change this O-ring. This O-ring going to cost you $12, but your shit will work another 5 years. Do not go spend $1,000 on a new washer or a cooktop or a hob or whatever the fuck they call it over there. And don't put that shit in the landfill because we live on a small island like Doc. And I don't want to go out there and see 5,100 fucking ovens when all you need is a $6 part. Here's a $6 part. Here's how you buy it. Here's how you change it. And if you're really scared, go find a reputable person to help you change it. And that'll cost you $200-$300, but you do not need a brand new shit no matter what the dude at Sears told you or Tesco. I forgot what they call it over there. Anyway, so that's what that reference is. And I said, because you know how you join the gang? Because you're not getting loved at home. You know how pimps choose? They pick somebody who otherwise has low self-esteem because everybody else told them they're bad. He makes them feel all good and comfortable, whatever, and then he flips them. Next thing you know, baby powder. That was the analogy, and I didn't go too deep because I didn't want YouTube to block the video. But anybody old enough to know how it works, the game is to be sold and never told. That's the exact answer, right? I'm sorry, I grew up in the hood. Deal with it. Anyway, so it told me my retention risk are, and it was like, it even told me, like, this reference is dangerous because YouTube algorithm may not love it. I clouded the words, so hopefully the algorithm doesn't block that video. But it was a powerful statement and you need to hear it. So I risked my channel to tell you something that you needed to hear. The only reason why kids join gangs is because they're not getting proper love at home. So if your audience ends up with somebody, Paul can speak to this truly, if your audience ends up with somebody teaching them how to grow their channel who doesn't really care about them, they care about the money that they make off of them telling you that they're going to grow your channel. Paul caught it. And he was like, I'm going to go ride with this old fat fuck because I feel like he actually gives a shit. And he ain't asking me for $1 million to teach me some secret shit that he stole from the internet. Right, Paul?
The only difference is why I've got views is I'm in every household. Some subjects, not everyone wants to learn a piano. Not everyone wants to learn YouTube. Not everyone wants to read children's books. But that's called niche areas.
Yep. And it needs to be there.
The only reason I'm successful, and you were correct, this is an ugly old git that will teach you how to fix a washing machine, but I'm in every house.
I did fix my wash machine from listening to Paul. It broke later, but not my fault. I wasn't there. I didn't do it. Mother-in-law did it, but I did fix it. I did fix it the first time. Shit happens, bro. So anyway, I just wanted to leave you guys with that. Like, I know it gets so much flack because everybody's worried about people making fake videos and all this other shit. But you can use this stuff to your advantage. And I don't mean writing scripts for you. I'll show you how to do that too. So you can make the script sound like you and not like a robot. But it has other powerful capabilities besides deepfakes, besides Suno music, besides stealing people's artwork. I see it just like water, dog. Water can flow and it can crash. If you give it a chance to help you make you better, it can win. If all you do is
can
listen-
learn everything in the world.
Yeah,
But you have
you
but
got to
you
do
have
it.
to
Right. There you go.
Well,
Paul
one
is
of the
great.
things I discovered with this piano journey thing that I'm doing, I mean, watching somebody play a piano, learn, it gets real boring. And I am not doing this for, I mean, if somebody wants to watch, that's great, come along. But I'm not doing it for them. I'm actually doing this for me.
It gets real boring
And
to who
it's
though?
like-
Let me stop you. It gets real boring to who?
It'd be boring to the people that are watching.
How you know?
Because I'm
How you
clunking out
know?
this. It would get boring to me.
There you go. There you go. That's the point.
But
It'll get boring to you.
I mean, the flip
Well, I've
side
been
is
watching. I've watched. I
Same
watched
here.
the same, and it doesn't mean that I can't watch you while I'm doing something else. I may be drawing or doing that, but it's entertaining to me. I've been doing 30 minutes of photo editing on black and white infrared every day to maybe one or two or zero people. But I'm getting the job done, and I'm getting better at it. I'm getting what I'm done, and I'm only doing it because I need that time block, and I want to learn it. But I enjoy watching, listening to you to have that. It's great fun. It's not boring to me.
But it's especially since I added the second keyboard yesterday. Now I can do more. Both hands are now fighting with each other to try to play the same song. But it's, I mean, there are times, I mean, some of it's real slow and clunky and all this stuff, but it's like I'm having a blast with it. It's like,
But every person who ever had to go through piano lessons is identifying with you. I mean, I took 8 years of piano lessons. I can remember, that slow and clunky and kind of thing. So every one of us is experiencing the pain and loving it.
I remember when I was with my ex-partner, he played the piano, and he would get up early in the morning to do his practicing. And he'd sit there and play the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, until he got it right. And I would yell from the bedroom, "You're flat," or something like that. But it's like, it's part of the learning process, and it's fun. So, I
I
thank
just
you.
pulled this up. It's going to jack up my whole algorithm, and it's kind of hard to tell that the person's in here. But I just found a video, and it says, "This is me sleeping." Okay? It's an 8-hour and 16-minute video on YouTube, not even Twitch. 938,000 views. You do not get to decide what's boring. They will be like, this is boring. And until somebody, not one person, by the way, until a bunch of people tell you it's boring, the reason why so many people don't make what they make is they think, oh, nobody needs to see this. Nobody needs to hear this. So as long as you've been around me, you still just did exactly what you know better than to do. And I get it because I do the same thing. I'm not saying you're wrong. I have done the same thing. I'm like, this video is not going to hit because I'm rushing it, because I'm in the lounge, because I don't have my whole studio. This video is not going to hit. It's not going to hit. And then I get a comment from King Kruk. It's like, damn, that's exactly what I need to hear. And that was one of the ones that I thought like, oh, that did not land the way I wanted it to land. So, unfortunately, yeah, don't be the judge of it. People will watch you, bro.
But I mean, even if 100 people told me that this was the most boring thing that I've ever seen in my life, I wouldn't stop doing it. I'd still do it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because you still pick your nose at the restaurant when we keep telling you to stop.
Mm.
I'm just messing with you, Paul. Anyway, I got to grab something to eat real quick. Class, I'll see you guys in a second. We're going to go deep. AT, you are a guinea pig today, so gear up. Gear up, sis. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway, guys, this was dope. Thank you guys for jumping in. Next week, I may or may not be here because I literally fly out the very next day. I would try my damnedest to get everything together, but I can tell you right now, my family is getting on my nerves. They've been texting me. They know good and well I'm live right now. we got like a week before we head out to Japan. Also, next week's stream might be とにかくもう8%も日本語でだけ because I got to get my switch in. I got to be ready. All three of them just went, huh?
And anybody on this one that watches the Tuesday streams, Tuesday is on hiatus until after the first year.
Yeah. If I have time, I'll pop in Tuesday, but I think I have planned something to do with Benji that day. So anyway, Luke comes on Monday. I got to pick her up from the airport. So if anything, if there's a surprise stream on Tuesday, it'll be me and Lou and Waikiki, you know.
She'll shoot you.
No, I'm going to try to drown that girl.
She wants to. She doesn't want to
Maestro,
work.
the hell you just pop up? Sorry, Gretchen. This dude just like, not only did he come today, he put the whole ass face in the screen. Maestro, what are you doing? Where'd you go? Damn it, I lost him. He just popped all the way up in the stream like, what up, bitch? Look. Hey. He probably can't hear that. He's like, don't lick me. Oh, he gives me the finger. Wait, I just deleted Paul from the stream. Anyway, gang, I gotta go. Let me stop tripping. I need to get something to eat real fast. All right, bye.
Bye.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine.